Good morning, everybody. Hopefully you had a good weekend. We've got Jerry on talking about some ideas today, and then I've got a few things to cover right here up front. So first thing I was going to share with you is, I don't know if you saw this, but thousands of living vets declared dead and lost benefits in the past 5 years. Why may this be important? How could you use this fact? Let's see if anybody can figure that out. Thousands of living vets declared dead and lost benefits in the past 5 years. How could we use this fact? This is a proof that what we do is important. Government makes mistakes. Yep. Where do we use that particular thought? That's right. We got some people saying the power of attorney. So if the spouse doesn't have the power of attorney and the vet is incapacitated, guess what? Could you imagine a poor wife trying to deal with the VA? Could you imagine a poor wife trying to deal with the VA if she didn't have a power of attorney that worked with the VA? I mean, it's hard enough for these poor veterans to get help when they're fully on board and dealing with them themselves, let alone a spouse that doesn't have power of attorney. So you can also use this fact. I know one of the guys talked to me and said, geez, it's amazing that they instantaneously turned off my client's my deceased client's Social Security immediately. So do you think it could be a problem where Social Security, I mean, what happened here, just so you know, people with the same names, they canceled the benefits for people with the same name. So Joe Johnson or Jeff Brown or whatever. So they canceled the wrong person's benefits. Do you think that could happen for Social Security too? Because they turn you off immediately, boom, boom. As soon as you die. So this is when people say, I don't, how can this happen, or why would I ever need to worry about this, Social Security? So we've said, hey, does the government make mistakes? We've talked about maybe they do a software update. Maybe they just get a digit transposed. Maybe there's ID theft and somebody takes your check that way. But here's another indication of maybe the government stops your benefits because some guy in Nevada has the same name and he dies, but they put down as you being or your spouse being the deceased instead of that person. Does that make sense? So there's just one more indication that what we're doing is a good thing. This is something that really illustrates why we conduct ourselves the way we do with 5Q. So you're looking at financial literacy. The confidence, here's people's confidence. They think they're what? They think that they know what the heck's going on. But what actually happens to their even when they're younger, they don't have the they're a lot more confident in how much they know what's going on financially than they actually are. But over time that goes down. So why should we not be satisfied when we say, hey, does this make sense to you? Yep. Do you see why we should do this? Yep. Do you see why this works that way? Yep. Why should we never be satisfied with yeses? Why? Let's see some answers to this. Why should we never be satisfied with yeses? Because what does yes mean? What does yes mean? Nothing. And going forward, the more the regulators look at us, the more we better darn well make sure that we have proof that the client does know or does not know what's going on. And yes means nothing. I don't know if you recall back, 3 or 4 years ago, that guy in California that got sued because he sold this lady in the later stages of dementia an annuity, and all the industry was up in arms, and all the advisors were talking to Robert. Boy, how can they go after this guy who sold this lady this policy? Why should he be thrown in jail? Why should he? Guys, he should be thrown in jail. Why he should be thrown in jail? Because if you sell somebody who's in the middle to later stages of dementia a policy, you should be thrown in jail. Jesus, criminy, guys. So how do we prevent that from happening? Why would that never happen to us? I know why it happened to that guy because, I said, do you understand this? And they said, yeah. I don't know if you've ever dealt with somebody who has dementia. Can they say yes to everything? Let's see some answers to that. Can they say yes to everything? Yeah, that's how they get by in life. Yep. You take them out to eat, and everybody doesn't even know they have dementia because they just say yes and smile to everything. But could they answer a question, especially about financial literacy? Could they answer a question? No. See, so that's what we do is the right way. Now, guys, just a comment. You really only have one tool in our business. You do not need to own a Caterpillar bulldozer. You do not need to own an airplane. You do not need to own a truck. What is the only tool we have? Our computers. So guys, when I'm talking to you and you can't get your computer to work, what do you think goes through my head? When I'm talking to you and you can't get your computer to work, what do you think goes through my head? Yeah, John, that's exactly what I think. I won't say what John said, but that's exactly what I think. Guys, make sure you keep your computer up to date. Make sure you're keeping the updates, disinfected it from viruses, backup data. Keep it clean from dust and spills. Find a professional, like a Geek Squad guy or somebody that once a quarter can go through your computer and make sure it's running properly. Because when you tell me, what do you think I think about an advisor? Let's take an advisor who, when I'm talking to them, oh, shoot, my computer locked up. Oh, shoot, I can't do. But guys, this is your only tool. Make sure that it is running smoothly all the time, okay? Heck, computers are so cheap now. If you every quarter, why don't you just throw your freaking computer away and get a new one then if you can't keep your one that you have up to date. But don't be running around with a computer that doesn't work. Make sense? And then one of the other things I want to talk about is email overload. How many times should you be looking at your email a day, guys? How many times should you be looking at your email a day? Yep, 2 or 3 times. 2 or 3 times. Once when you get in, once at noon, once before you go home. That's it. Because guess what I get from advisors all day long? Hey, Mike, have you seen this email? Hey, Mike, have you seen what this IMO is doing? Hey, Mike, have you seen this new product? Hey, Mike, blah, blah, blah. Guys, you should be focused on 2 things, which is what? Becoming an expert at the 21-point checklist and seeing clients. If you're reading all the crappy emails that are sent to you, you're wasting your time and you're wasting my time. So don't do that, okay? You should be looking at your emails 3 times a day at most, 2 times more likely, and just unsubscribe from all these other entities that distract you because you have ADD. So basically, don't be looking at what everybody else is doing. Now here's the thing, if what we're doing here at 5Q is not working for you, then go ahead and look at all those emails. But if you're trying to get good at 5Q, you're trying to get good at the 21-point checklist, what good does it do for you to be looking at all these other shiny objects that are in your email box? What good does it do? Doesn't do any good. Does it do harm? So unsubscribe from all the other distractions that you get. How about things that are going to try to make you smarter? Do we make more money by being smarter, having a better investment, having a better money manager, having a better whatever? Does that make us money? So unsubscribe for all these other things until you are making as much money as you want to make with the 5Q system, or you quit believing in the 5Q system. But if you're not making as much money as you want, and if you still believe in the 5Q system, don't look at all that other crap, because all it does is takes your eye off the ball. Make sense? Missy wanted to point out now that everything's running so smoothly with the eye-to-eye that we're now taking actual submissions for mailings for the eye-to-eye. Can you just jump in there, Missy, and make sure I'm speaking plainly?
Yep, no problem. So underneath the marketing and the eye-to-eye private meeting section on the website, you will find the order form. So you can go ahead, for those of you that are excited and ready to go, you can go ahead and start submitting those order forms. They'll begin walking through the proofing process. Now we do have the 4th of July, so our original thoughts were that you couldn't submit order forms until after the 4th of July. They're allowing us to submit these order forms ahead of the 4th of July. Ahead of the 4th of July, so that you can go ahead and get your proofing and mailing list and all of that wrapped up, so that quite literally right after the 4th, they can drop, the mail can be hitting right after the 4th, as opposed to the process beginning right after the 4th. So that should allow you to start getting mail in mailboxes the end of the week of the 4th and into that following week right away.
Super. And I'm so happy to see the excitement. We've had over half the people of our 150 active coaching clients have now basically indicated they will be in the first mailing here in July to do the eye-to-eye. Now, with that said, so please, when we call and ask you, if you're going to do the eye-to-eye now, tell us now. Don't say, yeah, I plan on doing it sometime in the future. No. What we're looking for when we're asking you is, are you doing it in July? Are you doing it in July? We've had over half the people indicate they are doing it in July. Now we'll know for sure when those order forms come in. But that we're looking for who's going to do it in July, because we're going to put all our effort to those guys, making sure they have huge success with it this first month. Now, that said, I can't tell you how many guys that are so excited about doing the eye-to-eye, they're ignoring the acres of diamonds in their backyard. What do I mean by that? So I got guys tell me, yeah, I'm going to do this, and yes, and we're so excited about this, and I need to get started on this. Guess who they haven't finished with yet? Who haven't they finished with yet? Their existing clients. Dudes, how much does it cost for you to go back to your current, first of all, how many of your current clients should have 21s done? If you believe in the 21, and you better believe in the 21, if you believe in the 21, how many of your clients should have the 21 done? All of them. You know, and I can't tell you how many times I've been told here since we've started this in January with the 21 lights by guys saying, I have all my clients' monies. Guys, over and over and over I've been told that, and over guys have made between $10,000 and my record is like $65,000. $65,000 from a guy who told me, Mike, I already have all my clients' monies. Guess how happy he was at the end of that month? Because here's the thing you need to think about. If he didn't make that $65,000, guess what was going to happen? If he didn't make that $65,000, what would happen, guys? Someone else would. That's right, Fred. Somebody else would. So I'm excited about you guys doing the eye-to-eye. I want you all to be doing the eye-to-eye. And I want the guys that have already gone to their clients and exhausted their free marketing and getting their clients to 21. I want all the people who have exhausted that, who have seen every single one of their clients, have all their clients have the 21s. Yes, I want you to do the eye-to-eye. But until you've seen all your clients that are retired and have done 21 lights on them and made a presentation to them, what should you be doing? Going back to your current clients. So you already turned it over to Jerry there, Missy?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So guys, please, I want you to do the eye-to-eye, but prior to that, you should be doing what? And again, how many months have I been saying this, guys? So if you're late to the party, then you're late to the party, but you need to go going back to your current clients, getting 21 lights done, making sure your skills are high on that before you're doing the eye-to-eye. Then do the eye-to-eye. So, but I do, you know, with over half of you right now signed up or telling us that they're going to be signed up in July to do the eye-to-eye, I'm really excited to see the success we have with that. So the rest of the call, I'm going to turn it over to Jerry, and he's going to walk you through all the different types of things that products and things like that we can utilize for the win-win-win, because we have a lot of guys writing a lot of that business. Take it over, Jerry.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Hope you all had a great Father's Day and a good weekend. What I'm going to talk about today, like Mike said, is the win-win-win, and really do a simple comparison between some of the different products that we use, and more importantly, what are kind of the strengths of some of them and where you may use them, because I get the question from time to time, because a lot of people are aware of those different products, and they say, well, which one should I use? And depending on which state you're in, you may use one or the other. And really, as a concept with the win-win-win as well, within that concept, there's kind of some different ways that you could go. So these are basically what I would say kind of like combo type products, and one may be, you may have a client that's leaning towards, they want all the benefits that you can get from a win-win-win, but maybe they're leaning more towards having some cash value accumulation where that would be important to them. Or some people, that may be of no importance to them, and what they want is the most long-term care benefit that they could possibly get. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through 4 of the more popular products that get used for the win-win-win and go through where you might use them, and hopefully you'll be a little bit more comfortable in understanding these by the time we're done. And obviously for anyone who has any questions, feel free to get a hold of me after the call too as well. So the 4 products that we're going to look at today is the Equitrust Wealth Max Bonus, the Pac Life Premier Care, State Life, their Asset Care One, and the Lincoln Money Guard, who I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. And kind of before I start here, what I kind of like to point out is I look at Equitrust and State Life kind of in the same ilk. They're similar type of products, and you'll see that when I continue to go through the slides here in the presentation. And then Pac Life and Lincoln Money Guard, I think they're kind of similar, but even though they're all similar, they kind of have some little differences, and depending on what state you're in, so that's what I'm going to share with you guys today. So the first product that we're going to look at is the Equitrust Wealth Max Bonus. So kind of some of the product basics, and like I said, I'm not going to get overly into detail, but we're going to go over enough so you can see some of the differences. But the basics on it here is the issue age on the Wealth Max Bonus is 50 to 85. So it's nice because it's one of the products that you can use that will go up into those older ages, where we're going to find out later some of the other ones will only go up to 75 or 79. So it's nice because it's one of the ones I would look at. So that's something you could kind of take a mental note of, that, hey, if I have an older client, Wealth Max Bonus will go till age 85. Now, another big difference too as well, I would say, would be the minimum premium. Wealth Max Bonus has a $10,000 minimum premium, which is much lower than any of the other ones that we're going to look at. And then maximum death benefit is $750K. So you might notice I didn't say what's the maximum premium, because there really is no maximum premium. What that maximum is going to be based off of is going to have something to do with the age of the person as well. You can put as much premium in until the guaranteed face amount gets to $750,000. So for instance, if you have a 50-year-old, it may only take $200,000 or $250,000 to get to a $750K face. Whereas you may have a 80-year-old, $600,000 would do it. So that's why we say $750K is the maximum for the product. Now, builds cash value. Not all of them do. So again, Equitrust Wealth Max Bonus, if we think there is a chance this person, they may want to, building some cash value is going to be something that's of importance, Equitrust Wealth Max Bonus is going to be a good pick for you, because you're going to get your death benefit, you're going to get your long-term care, but it also has a 9% cap on the annual point-to-point of the S&P 500, so it's nice because you can get a little cash value in it. Now, I understand some people may say, well, oh, there's IULs and things like that out there that we could use for cash value. This is one of the combo products. So these are simplified underwriting. Yes, there's probably some other products out there that build cash value. What I'm saying, in the ilk of these win-win-win type products, where they're simple to write, they have long-term care, they have return of premium, and they're just real easy, simplified underwriting products. This is kind of your go-to for building some cash value in the midst of the other products we're going to go over. Now, like I said, simplified underwriting. So again, Equitrust Wealth Max Bonus has the simplified underwriting. And then if we're looking at the benefits that you get, the Wealth Max Bonus, theirs is an accelerated death benefit, whereas you're going to find out on the other products we're going to look at, they actually have a specific long-term care amount that we can get. So I'm going to move ahead to the ledger page actually here on the Equitrust Wealth Max Bonus so you guys can take a look at it, and I'll explain how that works. And one real quick thing here too as well. So the benefits on the Wealth Max Bonus, what they have is they have a nursing home and a 2 of 6 ADL triggered benefit on here. So the nursing home, if they go into a nursing home, they can take the death benefit. So for instance, let's look here at the guaranteed page here. So now if we're looking at the guaranteed, what this is assuming we're getting the 2% minimum guaranteed interest rate, and the highest maximum charges that the carrier could charge are into effect right now. So this is, looking at this illustration, this is a 65-year-old male putting $100,000 into it. So the nursing home benefit is it's 85% of the death benefit in a lump sum. So this would be our death benefit right here, 182, or they'll split that out over 36 months. And then they have the 2 of 6 ADL, which is a little more flexible. And the 2 of 6 ADL, you would get 75% in a lump sum, or they'll split that out over 5 years, which is 60 months. So one of the questions that people have from time to time as well is, you know, when I activate that benefit, what is it? Is it the guarantee? So here's our guaranteed face amount of 165. What it is whenever you qualify for that benefit, whatever your death benefit is at the time, that's where your benefit base is going to be based off of. So assuming worst case scenario here in the guarantee where we get a 2% minimum guarantee and highest maximum charges, this is about the worst you could do right here. So you can see we start out at a 182 death benefit and then we drop down to 165. So this is our worst case scenario. Now again, as most of you know, the Equitrust Wealth Max Bonus product also has return of premium day one. So at any time, it could be 5 days later, it could be 10 days later, it could be a year later, you have return of premium at any time. So we put 100 grand in here, the client can always get their 100 grand out. And then we can see it actually starts to grow here too as well. Now the alternative right here, what this is illustrating is this is showing you the fixed rate. So they have a fixed bucket of 4%, and you're getting current cost of insurance charges. So that's currently what they're charging, how it would be. So you can see we actually have a little bit higher death benefit here, and we're having our cash surrender value growing. And then on the non-guaranteed, this is using the annual point-to-point cap of 9% with current charges. And then what this is this is a 20-year historical, and this is the average, and it's being illustrated at 5.5%. So using that 9% cap, that's our 20-year average right there. So one of the things I kind of like to point out as well, so I say, you know, out of the products we're going to look at, and I'm going to do a comparison at the end, the Wealth Max bonus, if the person, you know, having you know, getting the cash value, getting the long-term care benefits, and death benefit here, of all the products we're going to look at today, Wealth Max bonus is the strongest when it comes to death benefit. So if you have someone who you're wondering which one to use and you want to lean towards death benefit, the Wealth Max bonus is probably going to be your pick, because we start at 165. That's your guaranteed base. But as you can see, your potential is sitting up here in the 200s for death benefit. And like I said, this non-guarantee is a 20-year average. So I would say, you know, cash value, death benefit, you know, day one return of premium, Equitrust is your ticket. One of the things that I like to point out is the long-term care benefits for the Wealth Max bonus are not available in the states of Florida and California. So if you're in Florida and you're in California and you want death benefit, return of premium day one, and you want some cash value buildup, I'm going to be showing you what your product that you'd like to go with if you're in those states. Otherwise, other states, I think this will be your ticket. So we'll go over what that product's going to be for those of you that are in Florida and California. And then keep in mind too, in Florida and California, if you don't need the long-term care, this is a great product. You can still write it in Florida and California. You just don't have your long-term care benefits. So moving on to underwriting. So underwriting, I wanted to touch on some of the details of this too, because I think understanding how it works, you know, you may want one that's easier than the other, but at least you guys will know kind of how it works. So Equitrust is very simple underwriting. It's a phone interview at the point of sale. So the nice thing is, I always recommend when people do it too as well, is do that phone interview right at the point of sale. You can get it done with. You're right there with the client. It takes about 35 minutes to do that phone interview. How this works is the application, once you turn it in, so you do the phone interview, and then you turn the application in. Once those are matched up, the carrier has to get the application from you, because they won't even go match it up. They need to get that. They don't do any underwriting until they get the application. So you get that application in right away, And then typically the turnaround time to getting an offer is going to be 48 hours from the time that Equitrust receives that application. Now that depends on whether they're getting a large amount. I've seen it in the past where they've had a large amount of applications, and so it took a little bit longer. Maybe instead of 48 hours, it was 72 hours, or maybe a little longer. But typically, it's always about a 48-hour turnaround time. Now, applications that are over $300,000, Equitrust is going to require medical records. So that's going to, instead of our 48-hour turnaround time, we're at the mercy of how quickly we get those medical records. So if it's over 300,000, we're going to need those medical records. So I know I've had people in the past, the quickest way to get those medical records is to right away have the client call their doctor who has medical records and tell them, hey, you're going to have an insurance carrier looking for my medical records. Can you have those taken care of and get them sent over right away? And otherwise, we know how the medical field is sometimes. You could end up waiting 3 weeks. So if you can call the doctor right away or have the client call right away and say, hey, Equitrust is going to be calling, they're going to want those medical records, that would be a wise thing to do, and then you can have that turnaround time go a little bit quicker. One of the questions I've had people ask on that as well is to say, well, if the $300,000 is the number, I mean, what if we just go with $299? Are they going to require medical records? Well, what I would say to that is, if the carrier sees that, if it's anywhere, if it's close to 300, they have the right to go ask for those medical records. So anywhere, what I would say is anywhere near 300,000. I mean, if you get an app that comes in at 299, they may be thinking, well, is there something that these guys are hiding, so we need to go get the medical records. And really, they could ask for them at any time, but typically they don't. One of the things you'll see on the underwriting from time to time, too, because they issue everybody at standard, and keep in mind, they're basing all their information off of that phone interview. If they see some things in the underwriting that's a little shaky, for instance, if your client hasn't been to a doctor in 2 years, they may require that they go see a doctor. If there's some, like I said, some things that are a little shaky in there, and they may decline. If it's under 300,000, they may decline, but they'll come back and say, if we can get medical records, we'll reconsider. So underwriting, pretty simple with Equitrust. Just wanted to give you some details on how that might that process may look. But this has been one of the top win-win-win solutions over the years, for sure, for a lot of the reasons that I just stated there. So the next one I'm going to get into is the Pacific Life Premier Care. So some of you guys may be using this or be aware of it. Issue age is on it, 30 to 75, so there's a young issue age there. The minimum premium, I say, is about $50,000. That isn't the full minimum. It could be a little bit lower than that, but that's typically what I see, because based on the age of the person and the amount of death benefit we need, usually $50,000 is about the minimum that you can do on it. Now, a difference between the Wealth Max bonus, no cash value growth. Okay, so that's not what this is for. We'll get into what this product's designed a little bit more for. Return of premium day one. So day one, just like the Equitrust Wealth Max bonus, you can have
Gary,
return of premium. Yep.
You did go over this, but somebody's a little bit still confused on the long-term care benefit for the Wealth Max. Can you just give the 30-second synopsis of that? You did go over it, but somebody missed it.
Yep. So the long-term care benefits are going to be based off of the death benefit. So this is an accelerated death benefit rider. So whatever the death benefit is, so essentially here we put $100,000, if you look at the guarantee on here, $100,000 in here, and they're giving us our death benefit here on the guarantee is $182,300. We just leveraged our $100,000 into $182,000 of long-term care benefit. If you look at the non-guarantee, our $100,000 is worth $208,000. So essentially, we doubled our investment for long-term care. So Equitrust, their long-term care is based off of the death benefit. So this is the accelerated death benefit rider.
Perfect. Thanks.
Yep, no problem. And then the difference here, we have the Premier Care, and I'll show you, they actually have two different numbers. They give you a death benefit number and a long-term care number. So this wouldn't be an accelerated death benefit. So return of premium, charge back to commission on this, 50% year one. Let's see here, no, 100% year one, 50% year two, and then after year two, it's so the beginning of year three, there's no charge back at commission there. Multi-pay strategies, they do have a 3-pay, a 5-pay, a 7-pay, and a 10-pay in case you want to do some multi-pay strategies. And then again, simplified underwriting. One of the unique things about the Premier Care product along with the Lincoln is even if you use your entire long-term care benefit, and I'll go through this here, there's always a residual death benefit, kind of like final expense insurance. So let's take a look here. So now, and I'm going to do a comparison at the end, guys, too, so you can kind of see all these side by side, which I think will be helpful. So again, we're doing a $100,000 premium on a 65-year-old male. As you can see here, we have net surrender value. It's always $100,000, so at any time. And by the way, this product works in Florida and California, okay? So we have the cash surrender value of $100,000. Our guaranteed face amount, we want to look down here, is $128,000. Look down here at the bottom. We have $128,832. But it starts off the death benefit at $148,155. The reason why the death benefit starts larger is because this is life insurance, and the IRS corridor, because of the cash value we're putting in there, there has to be enough death benefit in the policy at the beginning to support the cash value that you're putting in there. And then you can see that the death benefit slowly goes down to the $128,832. Again, there's no cash value buildup in this policy, but you do have your $100,000 return of premium that's here, so you have your money at any time. Now, kind of one of the differences between the Wealth Max bonus, like I said, and the Pacific Life Premier Care, we have the right here, we have our death benefit proceed, totally separate number. Here's our long-term care, $386,496. So you can guess where this policy kind of shines at. It's not going to be the death benefit compared to what we saw with the Wealth Max bonus, and it's not going to be cash value because we don't get any cash value buildup. This one's going to be long-term care. So we get $386,000 of long-term care. When I did the illustration, we chose the 6-year benefit. So they're going to, this benefit is going to be split up on a monthly basis over 6 years. So we have different options, and I'll talk about that here, where we could do a 2-year, a 4-year, a 6-year benefit, a 7-year benefit. And depending on the one that you choose, you'll have a higher monthly benefit. 6 years is one of the most popular. That's why I chose it here. And if you have a client, obviously we can work on that together at another time. But you can see here, this is what your monthly benefit would be for 65 male. You'd get $5,368 a month. So that's a pretty darn good benefit, and that's for a 6-year benefit. So the Pacific Life Premier Care is designed for long-term care. For those people who want it, you get the return of premium day one, and then you have the long-term care benefits. And then also they have an inflation option too as well, where you can have 3% simple, 3% compounding, 5% simple, and 5% compounding. For those of you who don't know what that inflation means is, you'll start out at a little bit lower long-term care number here, and typically people will do this with younger clients. I would say, you know, if they're 65 or younger, because you'll start off with a little bit longer long-term care benefit, but your benefit is going to grow by 3 or 5% simple or compounding until you actually start using the benefit. The average person goes on long-term care at about age 80, so you can end up having a much larger long-term care benefit than 386. So I'll move into underwriting and then talk a little bit about the benefits on this too as well. Okay, the underwriting, so here's a difference right here between Wealth Max bonus. The underwriting on this, it is a phone interview, but rather than being able to do it right at the point of sale, this is something that's going to have to get scheduled. So you can't do the phone interview right at the point of sale. When you turn in the application, within 24 to 48 hours, Pacific Life would send you an email and let you know they're going to be calling the client so that you can, give the client a heads up. And they're calling the client. They're not just going to drop a phone interview on. They're actually just calling the client to schedule the phone interview. The client can also call on themselves to schedule that, but they're going to give you a little bit of a heads up to let you know that they're going to be calling the client to schedule that phone interview. It is a third-party vendor that calls and schedules, and then they also do the phone interview. And then I put on here medical records required. Really, it's medical records required over age 50, but most of our clients that do this are over age 50, so you can just assume medical records are going to be required. So that's going to be a little bit longer process. So this is simplified. When I mean simplified, it means they're not going to take any blood or urine. There's not a paramed needed, but they want the medical records. And just like I said with the Equitrust, if you can have the client call their doctor and tell them that Pac Life is going to be calling, they're going to be wanting those medical records, that can speed the process up. Otherwise, typically, it seems like most docs get the records out, 3 to 4 weeks. So it's a good idea to get that done. And Pac Life, they actually said they want to take those medical records on everything because they feel that they're going to have a far lower decline rate, because then they can corroborate the information in the medical records with the phone interview. And then once Pac Life receives those medical records, they said typically 3 to 5 days, and you're gonna get an offer on your product. So Pac Life on their on the long-term care that you get. So the number here, maybe I'll just flip back there real quick, and I want to the 5,368 on that monthly benefit there. In order to get the benefits, there's no elimination period for those benefits, which is pretty nice. 2 of 6 ADLs is a trigger, so essentially the doctor says, hey, you're not going to be able to perform 2 of 6 ADLs for at least 90 days. That'll trigger it, and then any care that you end up needing, whether it's if you needed to go in a nursing home, if you had to have a nurse or someone come back to your place and feed you, or anything that you need, power beds, any care that they may need at home or at a nursing facility, that's going to cover that for you. And they do require licensed caregivers, and we're going to talk about one of the other carriers that we have will actually take on non-skilled people. So any of the care that they need at home, if they have to have someone come cook for them, if they have someone wash them, bathe them, 2 of 6 ADLs, as long as the doctor says it's going to be at least 90 days, that would deem to be long-term care. Anything less than 90 days would be short-term care. So large benefit for, and good leverage for long-term care, not as much death benefit on the Pac Life. And again, full return of premium in all states, even in Florida and California. So, and by the way, in California, that was just approved, so that if you weren't aware of that, that's one of the options that you have. So moving along here, State Life. So this is the other product that I think is kind of similar for if you like the cash value growth to be similar to the Equitrust Wealth Max bonus. Now, this product is available in California and Florida. So if you're in California and Florida and you want a little bit of cash value buildup, day one return of premium, State Life Asset Care is going to be your ticket for California and Florida. Issue age is 35 to 80. Here's kind of a unique deal here with the Asset Care joint policies. So what I mean by joint policies is you can actually have the husband and the wife on the same policy. You may have, and the reason why I bring this up is you could have someone, they'd have a husband buys a Pac Life policy or an Equitrust, and then the wife buys one themselves, and let's just say only the husband gets sick. And so he's using all his benefits and he needs it, and then the wife is healthy as she possibly could be, and he's starting to run out of some of his benefits, the husband, and she thinks, gosh, it would be great if I could, my husband could use my benefits because I'm healthy as could be. I'm glad I have it, but I'm healthy. Well, the great thing about the joint policy from State Life is they can both be on the policy. If only dad gets sick, he can use the entire policy. Or if only mom gets sick, she can use the entire policy. So that way, the benefits end up getting used, or both of them can use them simultaneously. So that's a nice feature with the State Life product. Minimum face amount $50K. Again, there's not really a minimum premium. It's basically going to kind of come down to age is one of the biggest things with the we have to look at premium based on the age of the person. So if they're younger, basically the death benefit has to at least be $50,000 on there. So return of premium day one, again, return of premium in Florida and California. So the return of premium is going to be a nice thing, and you have it in those states. There's no vesting periods or anything like that. Builds cash value, so there is a 4% fixed rate on the State Life Asset Care, so you will actually build some cash value on the Asset Care product, unlike the Pacific Life, so that's a nice thing to have. And then they have lifetime benefits, so I'm going to get into Ledger here in a minute, and I'll show you this. They actually have the option for a one-time fee where you can take, instead of for instance, the Pac Life where I showed you, it's $5,000 for 6 years. For a small minimum fee, you can turn their monthly benefit into a lifetime benefit. So that can be attractive for some people. They say typically when people go on claim, most people are only on claim for 3 to 4 years. So I think the lifetime benefit, it could be a little unnecessary, but when you see the actual cost of it very cheap, I think it can be the right move for a lot of people. And they do have a multi-pay strategy on the Asset Care. You just go with their product Asset Care 4. So they do have multi-pay strategies, unlike the Wealth Max bonus, where it's simply going to be a single premium type of product. And then simplified underwriting. Again, all the products we're going over do have simplified underwriting. So taking a look a little bit here, and I have a Ledger page here too as well. So if you look here, this is, again, 65-year-old male with $100,000. So the base policy, $100,000 we're putting in here, single premium. And then we have, again, this one's going to be similar to the Wealth Max bonus, where we have the accelerated death benefit, and that's going to be our long-term care. So you'll see here our death benefit is $157,331. So that's our long-term care benefit. So we now leveraged $100,000 into $157,331. And as you can see here, initial LTC benefit, same thing, mirrors our death benefit. So this is a 50-month benefit, and the 50-month benefit would be $3,147. Now, what I was just talking about here was the continuation of benefits rider. You have a small premium charge. You can make this benefit down here, the $3,147, be a lifetime benefit. It's $7,000. So we're looking here, $100,000. It costs us $7,000 more to have the lifetime benefit. So if our monthly benefit is $3,147, excuse me, it literally only takes 2 months over our 50-month benefit to pay us back. So for the cost of that, not a bad benefit to get for a little bit of money. So that's one of the other features that you get with the Asset Care product. So let's take a look here at the Ledger page here. So like I said, full return of premium on here. We're putting $100,000 in here. We have a guarantee of 4% on here. Here's our cash surrender value of $100,000. You can see here, here's our cash accumulation. We start to actually build, because of the return of premium, you'll always get $100,000 no matter what back if you ever need it for any reason. But after the surrender charges start to go away here, and we're building the cash value at about year 7 here, you can see you start to build some cash value. That's not a huge amount, because we're getting our long-term care benefit and death benefit in here, but we do build cash value in this policy, unlike Lincoln MoneyGuard or the Pac Life policy. So for those of you in the Florida and California, here's a way to build a little cash value, get your long-term care and your death benefit all in one with day 1 return of premium. And by the way, all of these products, the return of premium is it's 100% year 1, 50% year 2, and then you're free and clear after the 2nd year. And then we'll move along here. So underwriting, it's a phone interview. Again, this is a phone interview that has to be scheduled. It's not a point of sale phone interview. So within 24 to 48 hours from the carrier getting the application, the client is going to get a phone call from a third party, and they're going to schedule the phone interview. They're not going to do it right then. They're going to schedule it, and it's a third-party vendor that takes care of the phone interview for you. And then medical records, depending on if the client, if they've been to a doctor in the last 2 years, they could be required. It's not always kind of like the Pac Life where anyone over 50, they're going to want to do it, but they could be required. And like I said, just go through the same exercise, and this goes for any time you do life insurance. If you can have the client let the doctor know, go ahead and let them know that a carrier is going to be looking for those, and they can usually get them turned around pretty quickly. And then once the phone interview is completed, typically you should get an offer within 2 to 5 days on the on Asset Care. So that is the Asset Care 1. We'll move on here to Lincoln MoneyGuard and Lincoln MoneyGuard 2 here. So issue ages are 40 to 79. Minimum premium, like I said, it's $50,000 minimum premium. Depending on the age of the client, it may be a little bit more. No cash value growth in here. It's not meant for that. This one's going to be a little more similar to the Pac Life Premier Care. It does have return of premium on it. The return of premium works in 2 different ways. They have what's called basic return of premium, which what they're going to do is they're going to give you 80% return of premium starting day 1, and it's always going to be 80%. So you're not getting full 100% return of premium, but in return for that, they're going to give you a little bit larger long-term care benefit. And then they have the other version, which is called vested return of premium, where day 1 it starts at 80%, and then it's going to vest over 5 full years, and it becomes 100% return of premium at the end of the 5th year. So at the beginning of the 6th year, you have 100% return of premium. So those are the 2 versions of return of premium that you get to the MoneyGuard. That's a little difference between the others, because the others are 100% return of premium day 1 and throughout. Now Lincoln MoneyGuard, again, they have the multi-pay strategies. You have the 3-pay, the 5-pay, the 7-pay, and the 10-pay. This is simplified underwriting. And then they have the residual death benefit as well of $6,069 on a $100,000 policy on a 65-year-old male. And I don't think I touched on that with the Pac Life, but I'll explain it here. So if we look here, our initial, I'm going to actually skip ahead real quick here. Right here, this is our long-term care benefit of $364,173. So what would happen is our death benefit right over here to the left here on year 1 is $148,000. If we were to use $148,000 of long-term care benefit, that essentially brings our death benefit down to nothing. We don't have a death benefit anymore because we used it. But what Lincoln and Pac Life do for you, which is kind of nice, is even if you use your entire death benefit amount, this residual death benefit will always be there for you. So even if you use it all, they're gonna leave this for you. So it's nice because it's kind of like a built-in final expense policy there to help take care of some costs. Should you end up passing away, it kind of just helps things out. So that's a nice benefit. And Pac Life has that as well. State Life, Equitrust, both do not have that. So moving along here, $100,000 policy here. $364,000. This is based off of a 6-year benefit. That would give us a $5,000 monthly benefit here. Here's our guaranteed face amount. So again, the Lincoln isn't going to be your strongest choice if someone wants death benefit. You do get a death benefit, so it is nice should you not use your long-term care. But again, your Wealth Max bonus and your State Life are probably going to be better if the client is leaning, hey, we want a little bit bigger death benefit. And then here's a nice, and this is on your illustrations when you get these two, it's kind of a nice illustration of how that vested return of premium would work. We're looking here, year 1, it's 80%. Year 2 jumps up to 84. Year 3, 88. Year 4, 92%. Year 5, 96. And then 6 year plus, it's going to be 100% return of premium. So this is kind of your basic ledger page here. And then we'll look over here. This is the actual ledger page. Again, I chose the vested return of premium. So you'll see here under surrender value, it takes until the beginning of the 6th year to get that 100% return of premium. And then just like the other policies there, we start off with a little bit higher death benefit. Our guarantee, if you look down below here, is $121,391 because the IRS corridor. It starts off larger until it comes down here. We're not going to build any cash value in the policy. There is a 2% minimum guarantee, but this policy, the long-term care charges inside of it, chew that down, so it's not meant to build any cash value, and that's what you see here. You're trading in your $100,000, you can always get it, and you have the protection of the long-term care and the death benefit here. So $5,000 monthly benefit. And again, they have different benefits that you can choose. You could do a 4-year benefit and maybe get a little higher monthly. And when you do an illustration, I can show you on those where it shows, depending on how the client wants to take it, they could have a benefit that's not maybe as long, maybe not 6 years, but they could have a 4-year, which is plenty long, and have an actual higher monthly benefit. So we can move those around a little bit how we want. And they also have inflation that you can put on this as well, where you could have a 3 or 5% inflation rider. And what that does again is it allows you'll start with a little bit lower. You probably won't start with 364. You maybe start with around 300,000 or 320, but then your actual long-term care benefit, instead of staying level like we see here where it's 364 the whole time, it would actually grow. And like I said, a lot of times people don't go on long-term care until about age 80. We have 15 years to grow here in this scenario, so we can, we could possibly beat that 364, and in all likelihood would. So now I'm going to move into a little bit of a comparison here, kind of look at some of these side by side. So let's take a look here. So if it comes to cash accumulation, we have 9% cap here, and there is a monthly point-to-point in here as well, but this is the most popular. So if it comes to cash accumulation here, the Equitrust is going to be our best bet. And then the Pac Life and the Lincoln Money Guard, we don't have any cash accumulation on them. Return of premium, Equitrust, Pac Life, and State Life, they all have the day one return of premium, whereas the Lincoln Money Guard, they have the vested return of premium. So total benefit here, this is the total long-term care benefit. As you can see, the Pac Life and the Lincoln Money Guard, they both kind of take home the cake here. Good benefits here. And the State Life and the Equitrust, they're a little bit lower. I will say a difference on the Equitrust and the State Life is State Life does have an inflation benefit you can put on here, but there's a little, you're going to start at a lower dollar amount here. This is just looking at the level. Equitrust, they're in all likelihood, they have the opportunity for this benefit to grow too, because it's based off of the death benefit and how well the policy kind of performs. Now we look on death benefit here. We can see here Equitrust kind of takes home the cake. 165, State Life's kind of right there by it, and the two, their guaranteed death benefits are lower. These all start off higher initially, but these are your guarantees, and Equitrust has the highest guarantee when it comes to death benefit. And then how the benefits are paid, Equitrust, they have the 2 of 6 ADL and the nursing home. One of the things I don't think I quite mentioned on Equitrust too is they actually pay you the money when you qualify, so it's not reimbursement. So hypothetically, you wouldn't want to do this, but they send you a check. A person could get that check and go buy a brand new car with it if they wanted. However, if it's not being spent for the actual long-term care needs, then it's not tax-free. It's not a tax-free benefit. So that's one of the differences, is they actually do pay you a check for that money. And I'm going to keep moving stuff along here. And then Pac Life and Lincoln, both of theirs are reimbursement. So you can actually send the bill directly to them, or they'll reimburse you for your payments that you have. And then State Life, their reimbursement as well. And so all of them are 2 of 6 ADL triggered, and there's no waiting periods on the Pac Life and the Lincoln, but there are slight waiting periods with State Life and the Equitrust. And then availability is always important. The long-term care is not available in Florida and California for Equitrust, and it is available for Pac Life, State Life, and Lincoln. So what best used, I would say, looking at cash accumulation, if we're looking at it, we think that would be, the clients tell us that would be something that they like. They want all the benefits, but if they want one that does it really well, which one would I lean to? Right here, Equitrust has the in the green here, great. They're the best on the cash accumulation of the combo products. State Life has a little bit, so I put them moderate, and Pac Life and Lincoln don't have any cash accumulation. So Equitrust would be the one if that's the main item for you. Return of premium, Equitrust, Pac Life, State Life, they're all great. It's day one. Lincoln Money Guard, they have some of those stipulations where it's 80% and the vested. So these three here take home the win for return of premium. And then total benefit, Pac Life and Lincoln obviously have the largest. And I give State Life a great review on it too as well, because they have that lifetime benefit as well, where you can make that benefit last for their life. So those are who I would look at for total benefit. And then on death benefit, if that one is the highest priority for you, Equitrust is going to give you your best shot at the highest death benefit. So this is kind of anybody who has any questions about these, feel free to always give Jeff, myself a call, and we can work on those cases for you guys and make sure you're squared away. But I thought this would be helpful for you guys, so you can see how do the products all stack up against each other, and hope this was helpful for you guys.
It was great. Thank you very much, Jerry. Appreciate it. And guys that had individual questions, we didn't have time to get to those, so just call Jerry or JV, and they would be happy to answer those questions for you. So great summary. I appreciate that, Jerry.
Yep.
Okay, guys. Have a great rest of the day and a great rest of the week. We'll talk to you all on Friday. Thanks, everybody.